It's now 7:30 in the morning. I got home from work maybe 20 minutes ago. I gotta say, I did not think I was going to be able to keep up the whole working graveyard shifts thing this long. I don't think I'm going to be able to go much further. No, I kid. It's really not that bad. Let me tell you though, it is quite a shock to your system working overnight, especially if you slept normally the night before. I tell you, around the 8th, 9th hour of work, you start to see things. So on to the point of today's video. Or rather, I shouldn't say point. There's not really a point to it so much as I came home and really wanted to make a video. So naturally, I ran to Twitter to ask you guys what topics I should talk about for this commentary. I've done this once before, and it was a really long time ago, and I felt it was the right time to do it again. The reasons are twofold. 1, I had no ideas. And 2, I like your ideas better than mine. So let's just dive right on into it, shall we? Alright, first suggestion comes from K, or K Pomi? Pomi? I'm gonna say K Pomi. That one illegal thing that you did that you've never told anyone about. I'm not really much of a criminal. I don't know if you could tell that or not at first glance, but I'm just not really into it. However, that does not mean that I haven't done stupid things in the past. I tried shoplifting. I was caught. I will never do something that stupid again. I did not enjoy it one bit. I gotta say, that feeling of embarrassment, that walk of shame being kicked out of a store, I'm just thankful that I was able to leave and not get into any more trouble. So yeah, I'm not really big on doing illegal things, but that's the one thing I've done that is criminal. The next suggestion comes from It's Mr. Grizzly. Why did the bike fall over? I'll tell you why, Mr. Grizzly. It's because you, and people like you, keep asking that question. There's not much I can really say about that joke. What I can say, though, is that I wish it would die. I wish it would fall over, just like the bike, and cease to exist. Thank you. The next suggestion comes from Jordan Rocks 104123, or some nerd, and they suggested, talk about the meme cracking open a cold one with the boys. I would rather not. I still don't fully understand it, and therefore am not really qualified to speak about it. So I'm just gonna leave it up to the internet. Matt, or MM31VE, suggests that I should talk about furries. Furries. These slightly scarier bronies. Nah, I kid. Honestly, I don't really give a crap. If you like wearing mascot costumes, if you like dressing up like trains, if you like doing anything within the confines of the law, I have no reason to dislike you or treat you any differently than I would anybody else. I was technically a brony once. I wouldn't consider myself one anymore, but believe you me, I understand what it's like to be the weird guy. I still am, as a matter of fact. My little corner of the internet that I'm on right now, yeah, believe me, I totally understand what it's like to be the quote-unquote weirdo. Alright, I'm gonna move on from that topic before I incriminate myself any further. Ben/Chosen1, or Chosen One tweets, says, your first times doing stuff. Now, I feel like I could go on and on about the first times that I've done stuff before, but the one thing that kind of sticks out in my mind for whatever strange reason was the first time I ever tried riding a motorcycle/dirt bike. There's not really much to it. It was embarrassing and a little bit scary. For those of you that don't know, I don't know how to drive a manual anything. My mom taught me for about 2 hours once, so I kind of understand the concept of driving a manual car, but in practice, there's no chance. All the cars I've ever owned have been automatics. I just can't wrap my head around it just yet. So naturally, getting on a motorcycle presents a whole new series of problems. For instance, it is a manual, but a lot more confusing to my mind, mainly because I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So naturally, not understanding how this little, and this is a tiny bike, I should mention that right now, this little dirt bike was very small, meant for children, if you will. And for some strange reason, I decided to try and be cool and rev the engine up before even knowing how to drive the stupid thing. Let's just say being dragged and then thrown 15 feet by a bike isn't exactly the highest point in your life. There's a part of me that never really got up from the ground that day. The next suggestion comes from Bunny Artist, or Bun Bun Artist. Your greatest fears. Biggest fear, small enclosed spaces. Second biggest fear, insects and creepy crawlies of any and all kinds. I can stand the common ones like maybe a house spider or a house fly or little teeny tiny ants, but other than that, no thank you. Keep that stuff as far away from me as humanly possible. You know, religious folk out there say that God created us in his image. Well, who the hell created insects? I don't even think Satan would stoop that low. Look at those things, man. You tell me for 1 second that those were intelligently designed. Well, I guess I can't say that. They were probably intelligently designed to scare the living crap out of everyone. But I digress. Damien suggests that I talk about the detailed history of every single Your Mama joke. Well, let me see here. There are about, 30 trillion Your Mama jokes? And about 99% of those suck? That would just be a lot of work. All right, now it's time for my personal favorite suggestion of the entire video. And finally, Gen Tracker, or The Gen Tracker, suggested that I should talk about Disney. She might be a little bit biased, though. Believe me, I am too. I'm a little bit biased, too. There are so many things I could talk about when it comes to Disney, or Disneyland, or Disney World. For those of you that have never noticed, myself and Bree are both huge Disney fanatics. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons we actually moved to California was so that we could be close to Disneyland. I know that sounds stupid, but hey, shut up. Disneyland was totally worth it, okay? For real, though, that was actually one of the reasons on our list when it came to moving to California. When we were looking for places to live, on our criteria, it needed to be within a certain distance to Disneyland. Pretty much meaning just SoCal, anywhere in SoCal, essentially. I also happen to have a pretty sizable Disney pin collection. I haven't added too much to it recently, mainly because I've been focusing elsewhere, like work and trying to save my YouTube channel. But for some strange reason, I can't get enough of the Disney pins. I've always wanted to collect something. Growing up, I had a few friends that would collect things from rocks to stamps. Stuff like that obviously never interested me. I wanted what I collected to be relevant to something else that I greatly enjoyed and loved a lot. So naturally, when my friend Jordan started collecting Disney pins, I looked into it a little bit more and I got really, really excited. I know, I'm a giant dork. But I'm very, very proud of my collection so far. It's not the hugest collection in the world, but you know what? I go for the more rare pins, okay? I like quality over quantity. Thank you very much. Look, I could drone on and on about Disney. As a matter of fact, I might have to make a separate video about it someday. Because honestly, one of the things I'm very passionate about is Disney. Is Disneyland, Disney World, the history behind all the parks. I don't know why. I just am. They're incredibly unique pieces of history, of American history. They're so cool and interesting in my mind. I like learning anything I can about how they started, about where they're going, about how they're working right now. I don't know. It's just one of those things I can't get enough of, no matter how hard I try. And there you have it. All the suggestions I grabbed off of Twitter this morning. I feel so close to passing out right now, it's driving me mad. I would like to thank all of you that submitted these ideas on such short notice. But for now, I must go. It's been fun, folks. Always remember, if you even somewhat enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like, and if you really enjoyed the video, then consider subscribing. And if you really, really, really enjoyed the video, consider watching every advertisement on my channel hundreds of thousands of times so that I might be able to get my revenue back up to where it was before. I'm just kidding. That's ridiculous. Alright, folks, until the next time I decide to beg for ideas on Twitter, I'll be seeing ya.